says going live. Oh, now I'm live. Okay. YouTube has to mess everything up. Apparently it was working fine before, and now they've forced me over into this new YouTube studio crap. But I think I'm live. I think everything is going fine. I do not see the chat yet, and it doesn't look like anyone's joined me in the voice chat as of yet. There should be a chat on this thing. There's supposed to be. But we'll see. We'll see if anything pops up. I might have to... See, they're no longer showing me the chat options on the main page. Maybe I'll have to go back to my creator page for this. YouTube, why do you have to screw everything up? All right, if someone's in the chat, paste something and see if I can get there. See if it shows up. I hope this is not the case where there are a bunch of people chatting and saying, "Hey, I'm here, I'm in the chat, pay attention to me," and I can't see you. See, this video isn't even showing up on my channel. Yeah. You might have to... So anyway, the point of this is to go through the 8 values political quiz, which is the next one that y'all wanted me to do. So I hope you all can see me, and I hope you can come and join in the chat. Usually I have a bunch of people chatting right now, and no one's showing up. And I don't see this video on my channel, so I don't know what's going on. I might just be talking to myself. I might be wasting my time. It is not showing up on my channel. Maybe I have to go specifically to live. Okay, it says I am live. If I click on that, do I get... I wanted to see the chat. I want to make sure the chat is showing up. Oh, hey, Darius Thurman donated $1. Testing, testing, testing. Markets are better than socialism. So I got a super chat, but I'm not seeing it over on that side. Yeah, so is there a way? If I can get the chat in like a separate window where I can at least read it. I'm saying, okay, yes, here's the chat. Let me pop it out. Okay, there are people here. I see people. Yes. And some are saying my mic is really quiet, and okay, let me turn that up. Testing, testing. Okay, is that better with the mic? All right. Okay, it's not going to show up on the stream for some reason, so and Anti-Raga, so there's something wrong with YouTube. Well, they're switching us over to this YouTube Studio crap, and they change so much about how things work, and it's just, God, I wish they'd just leave well enough alone, because it's not like there's not plenty of other things that they need to fix, but anyway, I should have it where I can see everything. All right, let's just go ahead with this 8 values quiz, and I'll just keep an eye on the chat myself over there. So yes, this is another political quiz that y'all wanted me to do, and it says 8 values is a political quiz that assigns percentages for 8 political values. There are 70 questions, so hopefully I can keep this under an hour. Already 5 minutes into it. 8 values are equality, and it looks like this is equality of results, not equality of opportunity. Distribute the economy evenly among the populace, progressive tax code, social programs, and socialism. Markets. The markets should be lower taxes, privatization, deregulation, laissez-faire. Then there's nationalistic, which is aggressive foreign policy, military strength, sovereignty, things like that. And globe, which are cosmopolitan and globalist. Liberty, which apparently doesn't mean liberty, but it means civil liberties, not economic liberties. And authority, strong state power. And then tradition versus progress. So we're already a bit delayed getting started, so let me go ahead and see what happens. Just like with the last one, I haven't taken this yet. I thought I'd... Oh, hello. Who do we have? Artemis.
Yes.
Artemis, your booming voice coming through. I'm just turning you down a bit.
Got it.
Yeah, YouTube screwed everything up for me, so the chat's not showing up in the video. I've had to pull it up in a separate window. Yeah. YouTube, fix the problems you have first before going and monkeying. All right. It'll be returned to the series of statements. All right. First of 70 questions. Oppression by corporations is more of a concern than oppression by governments. Well, you can't have oppression by corporations without oppression by governments, because that's how they... So I don't really know.
Well, you know, you get banned from like PayPal.
Yeah, but I mean, PayPal's not operating in a free market, is it?
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah. All right.
You got those sweet deals in California, Silicon Valley.
Ah. Well, and there's also all sorts of banking regulation and protectionism that they have. I'm going to say strongly disagree. It is necessary for the government to intervene. Oh, look, it tells me where I am, 2 of 70. Intervene in the economy to protect consumers. Disagree. The freer the markets, the freer the people. I don't see how it could be any other way, because markets are people. That's what they are.
I think it just put strong. Yeah, I'm looking at the live feed. It's just a little bit behind.
Yeah. I've tried taking down... I've looked at the settings, and I've tried taking down that delay as much as I possibly can. Last time they said it was like a 30-second delay. Hopefully it's a lot better now.
Yeah. Carry on.
Yeah. And as Mr. Bouchard says in the chat, you know, if you're oppressed by a corporation, just change to a competitor. So if you don't like what PayPal's doing, just go with someone else. It's better to maintain...
If you don't like what Google Plus is doing or not doing, go to MeWe.
If you don't like what Google Plus is doing, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't exist anymore.
And now we have MeWe.
Let's see. Better maintain a balanced budget than ensure welfare. Agree. Publicly funded research is more beneficial than leaving it to the market. Disagree. International trade is beneficial. Agree. Reach according to its ability. Yeah, Marx. Yeah. It would be best if social programs were abolished in favor of private charity. Agree. Taxes should be increased on the rich to provide for the poor. Disagree. It doesn't work. Inheritance is a legitimate form of wealth. Why wouldn't it be? Because otherwise, who would get it? You know,
The
public.
government.
Yeah, of course, it's always that. Yeah, you got to get it for the mob. Public utilities like roads and electricity should be privately owned. Oh no, publicly owned. I got to read these right. Publicly owned. Disagree.
I mean, isn't a road? Wait, no, isn't a road like a public space in a sense, like a right of way kind of thing?
Well, yeah, it's a right of way, but yeah.
Electricity, my Tesla battery and what are those things called? The things that collect solar energy.
Solar panels. Yeah.
Well,
Well, we've talked before about. I think this was in Arizona. They had this thing where they were leasing solar panels, where you didn't have to buy the solar panels. You just paid them so much a month. They put them on the roof, and you got the power from them. And the state came in and said, "No, you can't do that because you're competing with the power company." Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's what you get. Excessive government intervention is a threat to the economy. Yep.
Those we just discussed.
Those with a greater ability to pay should receive better health care. I think we had a similar question in the last one and we had problems with it. But I mean, you should. I mean, what do you mean by better health care? And you're taking up resources, and you need to compensate people for those resources. So I'm going to agree.
If I want a second heart, I'm paying. I got to pay through the nose for that.
Yeah. It's just worded in a way that makes you sound like a monster if you agree, you know. Quality education is a right of all people. Okay, what do we mean by right here?
And what do we mean by quality?
Well, that too, but the proper meaning of right is something government cannot interfere with. So it is a right, and the government cannot interfere with you getting an education. But that's not how people are using the word. They're using it like a privilege or an obligation, meaning that you have the right, you have the ability or obligation to take resources from other people to get your education.
I think maybe we should go with neutral.
Yeah. Badly worded question. Neutral on that one. The means of production should belong to the workers who use. Okay, that's Marxism. Yeah. The United Nations should be abolished. Yeah.
Yes.
Military action by our nation is often necessary to protect it. Again, what do we mean by military action?
And what do we mean by often?
Well, I mean, are we talking about... Oh, what do we have here? Darius Thurman donated $1. Negative rights versus positive rights. Yes, that is exactly it, Darius. And for some reason, I am only seeing the super chats over here. You know, that might have been a super chat that was done through Streamlabs, which I now notice that I have a typo in the thing. So if you're doing Stramlabs, then I'm sorry, I was sending you to the wrong place. It's Streamlabs.
Well,
but yeah, if you do it that way, it won't show up in the chat because it's done through Streamlabs. But Streamlabs doesn't take a cut of it, so if you send it through Streamlabs, then thank you for that. Well, thank you either way.
If you go through Streamlabs, they give you money.
I don't know what Streamlabs is. Might not want to do that. You know, that might be some typo squatting there. You got to watch that. All right. I'm just going to go neutral. I support regional unions such as the European Union. Well, considering the horrible things they do, I'm going to strongly disagree with that. It is important to maintain our national sovereignty. What does that mean? Jeff Baum is saying neutral, defensive, okay, otherwise not. Yeah, that'll work. I'm going to do neutral on this one too because I don't know what it means. A united world government will be beneficial to mankind. No. It's more important to maintain peaceful relations than to further our strength. Okay, yes. Wars do not need to be justified to other countries. How can wars be justified at all?
So, strongly agree.
We strongly agree? That means that we can kind of wage war anytime we want.
No, but we don't have to justify it. But you do it anyways.
I'm doing neutral. A lot of these questions are terrible. Military spending is a waste of money. There we go. That's it. International aid is a waste of money. Yep. My nation is great. What do we mean by nation and what do we mean by great? I don't know. There's a lot of great people here.
I mean, I would say it's better than China.
Yeah.
Do we agree?
I mean, what's the criteria here for great?
I think it's relative to other nations.
Well,
I would go about it.
We don't have people starving in the street. We've got a homeless problem. We got a homeless problem in some cities because of their screwed up policies. But for the most part, we don't have people starving in the streets.
Yeah, in some places they have slavery.
In the United States?
No, in like other countries.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to agree, but not strongly, because it sounds kind of nationalistic. But I'll basically agree. Research should be conducted on an international scale.
What does that mean?
Hey, who do we have here? Darius Thurman. On the war question, if your nation is being attacked, do you need permission from your allies? Yes, America is great. We have fat homeless people. Okay. Thank you, Darius. All right. If you just mean conduct research without borders, then yeah. Yeah, okay.
Maybe slightly agree.
You think slightly? What would stop you? What would stop you from strongly agreeing?
Maybe something like maybe it needs to be like a international government thing.
Yeah, like if you're doing the United Nations stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. No, don't. Jacob in the chat is saying don't agree? Are you saying we shouldn't agree with this? Hang on, I don't think I'm seeing the chat as it comes in. Let me go to live chat. There we go. All right. I'm just going to agree, but not strongly. We're seeing terrible questions again. So, governments should be accountable to the international community. Who the heck is that?
Yep.
I mean, I'm for accountability. But who's this international community that's going to be they're going to be accountable to? And who's the international community?
Any place that's not Africa or the Middle East.
Well, and who's the international community going to be accountable to? Who watches The Watchmen?
The galactic community.
I'm going to go neutral on that one. Even when protesting an authoritarian government, violence is not acceptable. I agree. My religious values should be spread as much as possible. Well, I don't have religious values.
Strongly agree.
Our nation's values should be spread as much as possible. What are those?
Strongly agree.
I'm going to disagree because I think our nation's values... Well, if you go by nation, if you mean our government's values, it seems to mean taxing the bejesus out of people to drop bombs on people to favor the Clintons or whatever. I'm going to disagree. It's very important to maintain law and order. Yeah, and that's why we shouldn't have governments.
Strongly disagree.
But if you strongly agree, it makes it sound like you're a statist. Hate these questions. All right. Neutral. The general populace makes poor decisions. Well, no, they don't.
Strongly agree.
No, they really don't.
Have you seen McDonald's?
Victimless crimes should not be crimes that all agree. The sacrifice of some civil liberties is necessary to protect us from acts of terrorism. Disagree. Government surveillance is necessary in the modern world. Disagree. The very existence of the state is a threat to our liberty. Well, I don't know what else is, so strongly agree. Regardless of political opinions, it is important to side with your country. Be an unthinking drone. Just go along with the crowd.
Neutral.
No authority should be left unquestioned. Agree. A hierarchical state is best. Well, no state is best.
Strongly neutral.
What would a strongly neutral? What would a non-hierarchical state look like? I don't. Neutral, yeah. It's important that the government follows the majority opinion even if it is wrong. I don't want the government to follow any opinion. Strongly disagree. The stronger the leadership, the better. Well, Hitler was a pretty strong leader, wasn't he? I'm going to disagree with that.
I mean, so was Churchill.
You're still making my point for me. Democracy is more than a decision-making process. Well, yeah, it's an act of tyranny, so do I agree? No. I'm going to go neutral on that one.
It's like we have to kind of think about what the writer's intent is.
Yeah, you got to kind of read their minds.
Feel about it.
Yeah. Okay. Environmental regulations are essential. Disagree. A better world will come from automation, science, and technology. Yes. That's the Luddite question to see if you're... Children should be educated in religious or traditional values. Children should be educated in whatever...
Agree. We need more God Emperor worship.
They should be educated in whatever values their parents think are important.
Nope, heretic.
Artemis Selena, I wonder what happens if you answer neutral, unsure to every question. I guess you're in the middle on all the values. I don't know. Traditions are of no value on their own. Well, are they asking like, are they valuable per se? Because they're not really, but they might be depending on the tradition and why it's there.
Agree, question mark?
I don't know. Agree, but
agree neutral.
Yeah. Religion should play a role in government. No.
Strongly agree.
Yeah, because Torquemada was such a great guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's cool.
Churches should be taxed the same way other institutions are taxed, which is not at all strongly agree. I don't think that's what they're going for, but I'll agree. Climate change is currently one of the greatest threats to our way of life. I'll disagree, but not strongly. It is important that we work as a united world to combat climate change. That I'll strongly disagree with. Society was better many years ago than it is now. Disagree. It is important that we maintain the traditions of our past. Well, again, depends on the tradition and why it's there.
Agree?
Neutral. It's important that we think in the long term beyond our lifespans.
Strongly disagree.
Well, I mean, it sounds nice and lofty, but think about what's the incentive there? You need to make good incentives, and the reason why incentives work is because you face the consequences. But like if you're thinking long term, beyond your lifespan, then you're not going to be around to face all the consequences of it. I don't know, I'm going neutral. Reason is more important than maintaining culture. Agree? Drug use should be legalized.
Disagree.
Yeah. Same-sex marriage should be legal. Well, it already is. Hey, who do we have here? Darius Thurman, another $1. Do you feel atheists on the left are guilty of making the government and the earth man-made gods? Well, first of all gods are man-made. Let's just come right down to it. But yeah, that's basically what they've done. They've made statism into a religion that's ended up being incredibly dangerous. No cultures are superior to others. Well, I'd kind of like to think we're superior to the Nazis or superior to people who, if you were a heretic, they'd draw and quarter you, or, yeah.
Zimbabwe's not that great.
Sex outside marriage is immoral. Disagree. Have all the fun you want. If we accept
Yeah.
migrants at all, it's important that they assimilate into our culture. Well, we assimilate their culture. Why do you think we have Taco Bell? Disagree. Abortion to be prohibited in most or all cases. Disagree. Gun ownership should be prohibited without a valid reason. Disagree. I support single-payer universal health care. Disagree. Prostitution should be illegal. Disagree. Oh, we're flying through a lot of these. Maintaining family values is essential. What does that mean?
Strongly disagree.
Well, whose family, whose values, and who's maintaining them? Yeah.
Let's see, Jim, Bob, and their adopted he dog.
Well, I don't
That's the
trust them,
family.
so I'll go neutral. To chase progress at all costs is dangerous. I'll agree with that. Genetic modification is a force for good, even in humans. I'll agree with that. We should open our borders to immigration. Agree. Hey, we're at the end. A couple more questions to go. Artemis says family like the mafia. Yeah, the mafia has family values. We got lots of values, and we break your fingers when you don't follow them. So, Jacob Melander, environmentalists are focusing on the future to such an extent that they are willing to cease other forms of progress today. Yeah, that's a good point. Because if you're always saying, hey, we think about the far future and not progress today, then you never progress at all because you're always looking at, you got to have the short term and the long term.
Did you know you can stop climate change by eating humans?
Darius donated $3. How would you have dealt with Reconstruction after the Civil War to prevent Jim Crow and get equality under the law for blacks? Probably just repeal the
and send them all the slaves back to Africa.
Now, probably just repeal all the gun control laws, let them arm themselves. Because the reason for the gun control laws was because they were having trouble enforcing segregation. So, all right. Governments should be as concerned about foreign citizens as they are about those within their borders. I don't want governments to be concerned with anything. I don't want them to exist.
I mean, what if they have what if they're involved in a murder or something?
Yeah.
Do they have rights to habeas corpus and all that? If they're someone visiting our country.
Like foreign citizens in their country. It doesn't say that.
Yeah.
Badly worded. I'm going neutral. All people, regardless of factors like culture or sexuality, should be treated equally. Okay, I'll agree with that. I prefer the word impartially to equally, but I think that's what they're getting at.
I think, yeah, that's probably what they meant.
It's important that we further my group's goals above all others. That's the last one. All right. I am 80.5% capitalist. Okay, and 19.5% equality. Yeah. So you have markets on one side, equality on the other. How are those two a dichotomy? Because markets are
bad.
Markets are voluntary interaction.
No, Shane, money.
So if you have if you have free markets, then you have equality because that's the only way you can have a free market. Diplomatic access. I'm balanced. Oh, I'm balanced, man. Ooh. It's like I'll put on my tie-dyed shirt.
Nation and world. Both are equally terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like either one. All right. Civil access. I'm a libertarian. I don't know what the 21.5% authority is all about, but that's badly worded questions for you. Societal access. It says I'm progressive. Well, that's an insult. Them's fighting words. Well, I guess the other option is tradition, so whatever. Closest match. Libertarian capitalism. Ideological matching is a work in progress and much less accurate than the values and axes. You can send these results by copying and pasting, blah, blah, blah. And that's it. Okay. I'm a libertarian capitalist.
Okay. Pretty close.
Well, okay. I mean, I don't know what all the other categories are because, you know, I'm an anarcho-capitalist, but I don't know what questions I would have answered differently to get me there if they have that as a category, because so many questions were badly worded. I mean, yeah, but so many of these questions are so badly worded. I mean, how do you... I don't know. Maybe someone else can go through this and tell me what they did to get anarcho-capitalism. Jacob Melander said he got ultra-capitalism. I don't know what the distinction is between all of those.
We just not sell out, Shane.
Yeah. So there, get my results there on the screen. That's the closest way they'll fit. All right. A guy with a bunch of numbers and no real name says 4 out of 10, not a good quiz. Artemis Alina says the questions make horrible assumptions. Manny Cabilt, I also got libertarian capitalist, but I was 90% markets, 85% liberty, and 70% tradition. Okay,
so the results don't mean anything.
I don't know. Whatever, but I guess that's the 8 values test. So for those of you who were wondering, that's where I am. So I guess we can leave it for there today unless anyone in the chat room has anything else to say. Sorry for the slow run up on this. I'm going to have to maybe do a couple of test runs before the next one of these. The live stream for the patrons should be Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. So, Jacob Melander, massive kudos to you for interacting with your viewers. I have fun with this. I like that we started doing a lot of these things live and we can get some real interaction going. So, yeah, support the live stream Thursday at 8. All of the supporters and co-hosts can join. Darius Thurman playing pragmatist here, but how would you get moderate centrist voters to adopt libertarian values to solve these econ and social problems? Just point out how much better a solution it is. You know, libertarian solutions are better for the environment. You know, they're better for, you know, poverty, for solving those questions. You know, just find out.
Accept that.
Well, if all you can do is give them the information. You know, you can't force them to change their minds. They can only change their minds themselves. So. All right, then. And as usual, there's a quickie tomorrow, and then Thursday is going to be the answers to last month's AMA, which you can ask if you're a $5 or more supporter. And of course, the podcast and regular videos are going to keep continuing. So I hope you all have had fun with these. I really like doing these. I really like these interactions. Maybe they won't all be political quizzes, but maybe I can find something else to go to that we can interact on. But I think a lot of these let us kind of at least mention some subjects that maybe we haven't.
A D&D alignment quiz.
That might be fun. Might do that one. I'm sure they exist.
Chaotic neutral.
I'm sure they exist. All right, I'm going to sign off then, unless anyone has anyone else. Manny Cabilt says, good stream, terrible quiz. Thank you very much. And my opinion on the quiz, too. Yeah, this one's pretty terrible.
Shane, you better shut off the stream before I say the N-word.
Oh. All right. Non-magisterial. That's the N-word. All right. Thanks, everyone. I have so much fun with these. We'll figure out some other things to do. So stay strong and be free.